Hello everyone, this is Eternal Snowman here for another week of BLT recap and analysis. This week I'll say that for me personally, I was having a lot of problems with like testing and stuff because my computer had broke this week and I wasn't really too ready for this week, but my essential plan in the overall run, I talked about this at the end of last episode, but essentially, I would say it's more important for me as a player to establish that I can use many different sets so people who look at my replays can't just assume. So I'm bringing a different Kyogre set and a different Xerneas set than I have run previously. So I'm going Geo Xern and offensive Kyogre with max speed. And then looking at the rest of my team, going E-Killer because I've actually brought a different Arceus form every single week. And then I'm going Edgequake because that covers a lot of the threats that normally come out of, that can normally stop Arceus. Primal Groudon is support Dawn, and then I'm running Mega Luke and Cloyster as a suicide lead, so this is pretty much HO, as HO as Ubers ever gets, with one suicide lead, Primal Groudon, as a rock setter, and then 4 offensive mons. So let's just get right into it. So Hugo goes ahead and leads with Darkrai. So this is actually wait. Wait a second. I'm pretty sure I was running a Lumberry here because I knew that he was going to bring Darkrai. And Darkrai pretty much will always Dark Void against the Suicide Lead. So I brought Lumberry this match. I'm not really sure why it didn't show, but anyway, he didn't. In the end, it didn't actually matter because if you look at if you watch the replay, you'll see. But I Shell Smash expecting the Dark Void, and then I knew I was going to get the Lumberry, so that happened, I guess. And then he goes Bronzong, and then he wants to pop my Sash because he's thinking that I'm Sash right now, but I'm actually not. So I just go ahead and Ice Cold Spear the Bronzong, and then it dies. This is quite nice because Bronzong stops like a good portion of my team. And then I switch into Piton here because I know that he's going to go for the E-Speed, which he does. He reveals that he's a Life Orb set. He goes into Salamence because it pretty much stops anything Piton will do. But I go ahead and Thunder Wave his Mence. This is kind of a mistake on my part because I kind of need Piton to check Arceus better. So I'll go into Cloyster and he reveals Facade, which isn't a huge deal for me. I go into Ogre and I just Ice Beam. And then it just dies. Primal Groudon comes in. And since this isn't defensive Ogre, I can't really do anything to Primal Groudon. So I just go ahead and sack my own Primal Groudon in return and go into Primal Kyogre. And I know that he has to switch out, so I just go for a Water Spout. And it just dies because nothing switches into that. He goes into Primal Groudon, and I go into my Arceus here, and I just E-Speed it. And he just kills my Arceus. Okay, so I make a mistake here because I think if I had kept going into Kyogre, I probably would have won, since nothing else on his team could switch into Kyogre, and I would at least speed type Primal Groudon for the win. But I was thinking if I Mega Lucario, then I could have a better chance at winning without my Kyogre. So that was a huge mistake. He goes into Landorus. I make another big mistake because I go into Xern and sack it to essentially kill the Lando. But okay, so at this point in the game, if I had either sacked Lucario and let Xerneas Mega, since nothing on his team would 2-hit KO except for 2 max roll Landos, Earthquakes, and then Xerneas would win. Or if I just kept switching into Primal Kyogre and killing all those mons over and over again, then I would have won too. But I didn't do either of those, and then I force him to. Oh, if I just Ice Beamed here, then that would have been meant that I would have won. Since if I Ice Beam here, that means like either. So here, let's go to the last turn. So if I were to Ice Beam right here, if he were to SD, then I could and kill me. Then my Lucario Bullet Punch would have killed him, and then I would have finished off Primal Groudon with a close combat. And then if he switches, then I would have killed his Primal Groudon with Ice Beam. But I decided that I'd go for a water move instead, which is like really stupid. And then this is pretty much the only so at this point I've already made 3 misplays that all would have meant I would have guaranteedly won, but it ended up being a 50-50 because we go for a speed tie, and I lose this speed tie, and that loses me the game. So if I had made any of those plays, then I would have won. This really sucks because that means that 3 plays I made lost me the game. Like, that was here. One of my teammates was actually saying that I made a huge mistake. Even my opponent was saying that he made a huge mistake, so I kind of didn't realize it while I was playing the game. So I actually made 3 huge mistakes, like looking back on it. So I would have won 3 different times over if I didn't make any of those mistakes, which is huge because in this week we actually tied. So if I had won, because one of the players didn't play, so if I had won, then we would have been in a much better position as a team. So we ended the week as 3-2-1, 2-2-1, while I as a player have ended the week as 2-3. We're currently 5th in the standings, because of how that works out. But we have a huge game difference down. So if we end up being in a tie for 4th and 5th, then we can just lose that spot because of our match difference. But just get into that. And if I had played this match better, then a lot of things could have turned out better. So pretty disappointed in myself and how I played that entire match. So